Hello. He's just come in, meow. Oh. Say hello. Oh, come on, you give me views. Hey guys. So I'm back. I actually managed to get a camera lens. So I now have a working camera, which is great. No more webcam or iPhone videos. So I've been struggling with the idea of going vegan for a while now. I've been put off eating animal products for obvious reasons, because of how they treat the animals, which I don't think is acceptable, and I don't think we should tolerate it, but at the same time I've also been put off veganism for various reasons. So for a while I was a little bit conflicted, and I'm going to go into some of those reasons now that I was a bit hesitant to start the vegan lifestyle. I've put these in sections to make it a bit easier and more interesting. Firstly, the food itself. Most of the food that I like is animal products, and for a while I was just a bit worried about giving up so many things that I like, and I was worried that I'd have to give up the foods that I like the taste of and the foods that I enjoy, and I was worried that I wouldn't like the vegan food, and I didn't want to spend my life eating food that I didn't like the taste of, and that would just be miserable. So I was a little bit upset for a while because I was like, I didn't want to eat the animal products, but I felt like those were the only things I liked, or the main things I liked. So that was a bit conflicting for a while. I now know that there are vegan versions of a lot of things I do like, which is how I'm working towards it. I've decided to switch some of the non-vegan things I eat for vegan versions, meat-free versions. So that's how I'm going about it. But for a while I was a little bit conflicted about that because I thought I wouldn't be able to have things I like anymore. And secondly is what I call vegan logic. So there are some things I consider like vegan logic that I don't necessarily agree with, and that's what put me off the lifestyle, the fact that I disagreed with a few vegans on a few things, which obviously that shouldn't put you off doing what you want to do, but that's something that put me off for a while. So I'm going to talk about those things now. Some of them are a bit triggering, I'm just going to warn you. First one I've put is dehumanizing humans. So obviously we should care about the rights of animals, but also humans are like above animals and they're not animals. And I don't think we should put humans on a level with animals, particularly groups of humans like people of colour or women or whatever. So sometimes people do that, and I think I get their point, that to get you on their side they'll say, but you wouldn't treat a human like that, or you wouldn't treat someone like that for being gay or something. I've heard that mindset, and I see what they're doing, but I don't agree with it because I think it's quite dehumanising. I'll go into that in a minute. So PETA were under fire, as usual, because they made an advert that compared rape victims to cattle and said that they were cows. Not even that they were like cows, that they were cows.
Because I am you.
Only different.
And obviously that's not acceptable. I get that you don't want to eat cows or their products. That's completely valid. But saying that a human who's been raped is the same as a cow is the wrong way to go about it. It upset a lot of rape survivors. Allies of rape survivors found it very insulting to them, and they went the wrong way about it. And I know PETA are very controversial anyway, but if the people you're targeting and going against is victims of a horrible crime, maybe you should, punch up rather than punching down. Yeah, so that campaign upset me a lot and put me off it and made me think, vegans! And I know most vegans aren't like PETA or aren't like people like that, but I felt like to have compassion for the animals, they were losing compassion for the humans, and it was whoop! Rather than just having more compassion for, if it will reach, rather than having more compassion for animals and still being compassionate to humans, which I think is the right way of doing things. But some people seemingly don't get that, and they become less compassionate towards humans or certain groups of humans, which obviously is problematic. Another example, to the PETA example, is that a friend of mine was trying to encourage me to go vegan and was like preaching to me to be on his side and like join the vegan lifestyle. And he said, because I obviously care a lot about the LGBT community and people of colour and marginalised groups basically, he was saying, you don't mind if a chicken's treated like that, but in the Second World War when they did it to Jews it was bad, and if they did it to gay people that would be bad. And it was like, I could see what he was doing, but you're still making a minority group be put as the same level as like chickens. Obviously I'd rather the chickens were abused than humans if I could choose. If I could choose, go away. If I could choose, I'd make sure no one was abused. But minority groups have been oppressed and dehumanised by society for a long time. Like, black people have been compared to animals and stuff by white people already, and that's like what their oppressors do. And I feel like if we make that comparison, we are doing the same as them. Completely indirectly. My friend isn't prejudiced in any way, but I just explained to him why I think that's not okay. Obviously, it's not good to abuse an animal, but you shouldn't compare that to a minority group such as gay people, Jewish people, black people, etc. I mean a marginalised group, not a minority group. Also put prejudice against humans, ableism, sexism, body shaming, etc. are known for this as well. A lot of their ads are very fat shaming or misogynistic or whatever, which is completely unnecessary. You can eat dairy-free cheese and not promote that kind of thing. And the internet, obviously social justice warriors on the internet can be very extreme. That doesn't mean all social justice warriors or all vegans or all feminists or whatever are equally extreme. Obviously you notice the more extreme things, but on Twitter and even Tumblr it can be really bad. I've seen people attack chronically ill people for having a disorder, which means they can't go vegan because they need something in red meat, and you know, just attacking disabled people for not being vegan. And I've seen people promote the whole meat causes cancer thing, which is like a theory. I don't know if it's been proved, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've seen people say, eat meat, I hope you get cancer and die, and that kind of thing, which is obviously unacceptable. And it's like the difference between saying you shouldn't smoke because it might give you cancer and I hope that cigarette gives you cancer and you die. There's a huge difference. If you believe that meat causes cancer, that's fair enough, as long as you can back that up, but don't wish it upon people just because they ate a chicken sandwich or something. It makes all vegans look bad, if anything, and it doesn't help our cause, because our cause is meant to be caring and loving animals and philanthropic. It's not meant to be wishing disease and death on people. My last point that I've put here is what I've described as family values, and what I mean by that is when you have a pet, they're like a member of your family and you love them more than any other animal, or I do at least. As you know, I work with cats for a living and I love the cats I look after, but my cat is my baby. Say hello. Obviously, if any harm was to come to any animal, I'd be sad, but I'd be more sad if it was my own cat. That's just like my own family values. It's the same as if I heard a human that's a stranger got harmed, I'd care a bit less about that than if it was like my mum getting harmed, obviously, because you care more about your family, blood's thicker than water, etc. The reason I'm getting onto this topic is, you guys probably remember a YouTuber a few years back said that she would rather eat her own dog than eat like a beef burger or eat anything that was a cow, and everyone was like, but that's your dog, that's like a member of your family. And she said cows are more intelligent, so they're more deserving of life or something, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't like animal cruelty because it's bad, not because the animal's intelligent. I don't really understand that logic either. But it was also like, so does that mean if someone killed your whole family, you'd be more sad about someone killing a whole load of strangers? You know, it's a family values thing, it's the compassion thing. I'm more compassionate to my pets than random animals I haven't met, but I don't want either to be harmed, but I'm more compassionate about my pets. So when people say things like that, it's like, do vegans have no compassion for their own family? And I'm sure it's not true and most people aren't like her, but that just blew my mind a bit, and it was just a bit funny and weird that she would rather eat her own pet, like a member of her own family, than a random cow. There's the lack of compassion for humans which happens, which I think is kind of unacceptable, and there's the lack of compassion for your own family pet, which is still a bit, it seems a bit heartless to me, and maybe you think I'm missing the point, but that's how I feel. And that's another thing that put me off. I thought weird vegans would rather eat their pets than a sheep. I don't think like that anymore. I know not all vegans think that way, but clearly some do, and it's a bit weird, and it's not something I necessarily agree with. So those were just some points about my struggle with the concept of veganism and wanting to do it and being conflicted. So to reiterate, I put it in kind of 3 categories. There was the dehumanizing of humans and various groups of humans, minority groups, which I think is unacceptable. Also the prejudice against humans, the ableism, sexism, etc. that PETA and a lot of social justice people do. It's not acceptable. You can be vegan without discriminating against people with disabilities and stuff like that. And the family values of caring about your own pets more than you care about random farm animals. And also like how the food tasted, if I would miss chicken and stuff like that. All of those concepts were things I was battling with. But I came to realise that, as I said, there are vegan versions of a lot of things I like, so I'm slowly switching things I eat for vegan versions. I've got some vegan margarine, which is exactly the same as regular margarine, to be honest. I've got vegan cheese and chicken and all these alternative products. And there's quite a lot of things you can get. There's soya yogurts and soya milk and almond milk. There's so much that you can use. My plan every year is to do Veganuary, so when you're vegan for the whole of January. And I always say I'm going to do it, and then when January approaches, I don't do it, I chicken out, I say I can't be bothered or whatever. So I decided I would change some things in my fridge and some things in my house for vegan substitutes, slowly but surely, so I'm not like full vegan straight away. That's probably not realistic for me, but I'm changing things in my routine slowly but surely, and then when January comes around it won't be a big shock to like not have any animal products. I've realised I like a lot of the vegan products. I like the taste of them, and I just decided at some point that they would taste gross and I wouldn't like them. But I like a lot of them, maybe not all of them. I might not be fully vegan forever. I might break and have a bit of goat's cheese or a bit of bacon every now and then. I think I'm going to be like mostly vegan or mostly vegetarian for a while. So that's what I'm currently doing. So I don't know how it's going to be over Christmas. We're having nut roast, but I might have some things with dairy in or something. I'm going to try my best, but I don't know how it's going to be. They have vegan Ben & Jerry's as well, and they have vegan Domino's pizza. They have so many vegan things nowadays. It's a lot better than it used to be. So I'm looking forward to that, just making little lifestyle changes towards being vegan and having my own views and beliefs without necessarily worrying that I don't follow what other people do. I don't agree with the whole social justice forcing people to change their mind thing when it's done in an extreme way. Obviously I'm a social justice warrior, but there are ways to go about it. It's very easy to be vegan and eat the right things without being over the top online and without like forcing other people to do the same as you. And to be honest, that doesn't really work anyway. Whenever I've been interested in it is when someone has been soft about it and said, this vegan thing is good, or this reason is a good reason to be vegan. Whenever they've been soft about it, I've been more able to listen. But whenever I've been like berated for eating cheese or something is when I like shut down and don't want to listen, or it's difficult to listen and see their point of view. That's where I'm at. I'm not saying all other vegans are crazy social justice warriors, but I feel like in a group of people, the more extreme ones are the ones that get noticed. And I know loads of really nice vegans on Twitter. Quite a lot of people are going vegan nowadays actually, and I know quite a few vegan YouTubers who aren't keyboard warriors with the whole thing, and I think I'm just gonna take support from other people who are doing the same things and take example from what they do. Maybe get some ideas for meals and stuff from what they do, and I'm looking forward to this lifestyle change. Are any of you guys vegetarian or vegan, or do you have some kind of alternative diet? Is it difficult to stick to? Do you find it easy? Do you have any advice? Let me know in the comments. My advice is I watch a lot of Steph Sanyasi videos, and she's recently gone vegan and she has a lot of good advice about it. So I would definitely suggest watching her if you don't already. And she's just a great YouTuber to learn about trans issues and stuff. And let me know what you think. I'm gonna go to Belgium tonight. That'll be fun. And I don't know when I'm gonna edit this, but hopefully it'll be soon. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!